Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope all of you are doing well, and today I'm going to be showing a playtest on camera between a pair of set 2 archetypes for the upcoming Myo Mashup set. I ran a poll earlier today in my Discord server where I discussed which types of archetypes you would like to see first, and so I've got those two right here. Dinosaurs won by pretty much the overwhelming margin, so they're going to be on the bottom here, while on the top is the second place vote, which is going to be the Mad Plant archetype. The dinosaurs are a ramp-focused archetype that's focused on bringing out big, powerful characters, so they try to ramp up pretty early and then get their big characters out to overwhelm the opponent with pure damage. Mad plants are a little more tricksy, though they do have a side plant involving ramp as well. They're trying to get out their big mad plant queen, who can deal damage based on how many PowerPoint tokens you have. So I've already shuffled the decks. I'm going to roll to see which side goes first. Bottom half is going to be dinosaurs, and if I roll evens, dinosaurs will go first. Odds, the mad plants will go first. Odds, mad plants are going first, so I'm going to draw the 5 cards. I'm not going to waste time with mulligans this go around. I'm just going to play the hands as is, but as you can see, mad plants have a pretty good hand to start off. No 1-drops, but that's okay. I think they can make do. And now to get the dinosaurs, let's see what they got. They also have a pretty good opening hand early on. They have some high cost cards, but they've got Wander the Dreamscape in there, which can help smooth things over a little bit. So starting off, Mad Plants are going to get their power token, and they're going to pass the turn. Dinosaurs go next. They get their power token and draw, and they're just going to pass 2. Next turn is going to be another draw. And they've got a couple options they can choose between. I think the Mad Plant player is going to put Violet the Recruiter down. This is a plant that when you play it, you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you reveal a plant from among them, you get to add it to your hand. So they have some pretty good plants here. Not a whole lot, but they've got a Mad Plant Chomper they can play. They're going to grab that. That's going to be good for next turn. So shuffling the rest into the deck here. Now the Violet the Recruiter does not have any attack power, so they're just going to pass their turn over to the dinosaur player. They're going to gain their power, draw. Dinosaur player has a couple of options to play on turn 2, but I think they're going to stick with Wander the Dreamscape to go, since they're not in any immediate danger, so they're just going to play it. Wander the Dreamscape is a normal action for 2, which reads that you roll a d6, and you look at that many cards off the top of your deck. One of them goes to your hand, the rest get shuffled back into the deck. So they're going to roll here, and they get a 1. So that's the worst you can get. So they're only going to get 1 card to look at. That's not a terrible card, but they could probably do better. They're going to go ahead and add that to their hand for now. Reshuffle here, and it will be the Mad Plant's turn. So they're going to regain their power. Give me one chance to reshuffle real quick. So, on turn 3, Mad Plants draw. They get their own Wander the Dreamscape, but I think Mad Plants want to apply some pressure here. So they're going to pay 3 for a Mad Plant Chomper, who is a plant villain. This was in another poll on the server. I asked if you wanted me to change the Mad Plants to villains, at least add that to their characters. A lot of you said yes, so they're going to be villains here. So I'm going to put Mad Plant Chomper into play. He's just a 3-cost character with 5 attack, 1 defense. No abilities, but he hits pretty hard at this point in the game, and he's just going to swing in for 5. Sending the dinosaur player down to 35. Dinosaurs come up, they draw, and they've got a pretty big play they can do right now as well. They're going to spend 3 for a young Florosaur. 3 cost, 4 attack, 1 defense. Not quite as good as Mad Plant Chomper, but he can get the job done. And so they're going to swing in to defeat their Mad Plant Chomper, and that's going to send the Mad Plant player down to 37. Mad Plant's going next. They're going to draw. And they've got a pretty big plan for this turn. They're going to spend 4 on a Thornwall Mad Plant. 4 costs 4/4 with taunt. So unlike a lot of characters with taunt in the game, this one actually has a decent attack stat. And I think the Thornwall is going to swing into the young Florosaur, take it out, and deal 3 damage, sending the dinosaur player down to 32. Next turn, draw. That might be good for next turn, but I think what they're going to do for now is they're going to spend... They can't really... don't have much to swing into the Thornwall with, so for now I think what they're going to do... They're going to spend 4... Going to send out Sporosaurus, a dinosaur... Kind of has a mushroom on its back. I know it kind of looks like a turtle here, but I can always improve on that with the final art. He has an auto ability where whenever he is destroyed by a battle, you put a -1/-1 counter on the attacking character if able. So -1/-1 counters are kind of a new thing in this set. They stick onto characters and reduce their stats by 1 point each. They can't go below 0, but it's still going to make their opponent's characters a little worse over time if they get enough of them. So Sporosaurus can't really swing in here, so they're just going to hold steady for now. And now it is the Mad Plant's turn once again. They draw. And Mad Plants have a pretty big opportunity. They're going to spend their 5, and they're going to play a Twin Mad Plant, which is a 5-cost Mad Plant, 4 attack, 4 defense. Whenever this attacks and does damage to a player, it gets the opportunity to attack an additional time, which I think is going to be pretty handy coming up. So the Twin Mad Plant's going to swing into the Sporosaurus, and that's going to cause the Sporosaurus to be destroyed. The dinosaur player is going to take 1, and that's damage. So the Twin Mad Plant will be able to attack again, but the Sporosaurus' effect is also going to go off, which means the Twin Mad Plant is going to get a -1/-1 counter, making it a 3/3. But that's okay, because Twin Mad Plant's going to swing in for 3 more, sending the dinosaur player down to 28. And now dinosaurs get to go, draw their card, and they are going to swing, they're going to spend 5, put down a Florodactyl. 5/2 with evasive for 5, pretty powerful. And they still got their taunt characters, but they are going to go ahead and swing Florodactyl into the Thornwall Mad Plant, take it out, and deal 1 damage to the Mad Plant player in the process. And now it's Mad Plant's player. That's a kind of a tough thing to say over time. They're going to draw their card for the turn. And they're going to play a couple of action cards this go around. They're going to start off with Spring Ahead, which is a normal action card that lets them add the top card of their deck to their resource row spent. So it'll keep them ahead on resources, which will be pretty handy. So now they're actually up to 7. And they're going to try to get some more cards here. They're going to play 1 Wander the Dreamscape. Let's see what they can get off of this one. This time it's going to be 4 cards they get to look at the top. Nothing they really want to use, though that cherry grenade seems tempting. I think they're going to go ahead and take it. So shuffle again. And they have another... The Mad Plant player has another... a Wander the Dreamscape they can play. They're going to go ahead and do just that. They're going to roll again. Let's see what they get. It's going to be a 1 this time. So they flip it off. Also, we're in this together. That's kind of an interesting coincidence. Going to add that to their hand. And now they move to the Mad Plants go into attack. They're going to... Twin Mad Plant's going to attempt to swing in over this evasive Florodactyl. Try to do some damage. It's a tails, so they succeed. So Florodactyl is destroyed. They take 1, which allows the Twin Mad Plant to attack once again, and it's going to swing for another 3, sending the Dinosaurs player down to 24. Dinosaurs get to come in, and they've got some options, and they've got some things they can do. I think what they're going to do is spend 5 on another Florodactyl. Take that Twin Mad Plant out. He's dealing way too much damage right now. So he's going to swing in, take it out. So he has 3 defense, so Mad Plants are going to take 2 points of damage, but at least that Twin Mad Plant's not going to be doing those double attacks anymore. At least for the time being. So back to the Mad Plants. Fortunately, they don't have a ton of things they can do right now. I think what they're going to do... They're going to do some interesting stuff. They're going to start by paying 2 for the... Actually, they're going to pay 3 for the Spore Shroom Mad Plant. That sounds like a good thing to do right now. And the other thing they're going to do is they're going to play Gather the Crew, where they choose a character type and you draw cards equal to the number of characters you control of that type. They're obviously going to choose plants, so that's going to enable them to draw 2 cards. Keep that card advantage going for them. Mad Plants are going to attempt to swing in, keep the pressure on, which allows the Florodactyls to try to avoid it. It does this time around, so they get to keep a character on the field. So next turn for the Dinosaurs, they get to play a pretty big character coming up here. They're going to spend their 7, and they're going to bring in Aromasaurus onto the field. He has 6 attack, 7 defense for 7 cost, with an auto ability where whenever a dinosaur you control attacks, you may ready one of your spent power point tokens. Pretty nice ability, especially if you're able to somehow swing with multiple dinosaurs in a turn. This can help you have some power points ready for backup to help protect your board a little bit. So they're going to swing with the Aromasaur at Violet the Recruiter. 6 attack on a 2 defense is going to take out 4 of the Mad Plant's life, sending them down to 30. It's back to the Mad Plants again. Pretty good card here. They got some options. They're going to spend 4. Bring on Mad Plant Megavine. 4 cost 4/2 Mad Plant with the auto ability where characters with -1/-1 counters on them cannot use their act abilities. So this is kind of a little payoff for getting a bunch of -1/-1 counters spread across your opponent's characters. It's pretty nice. And they're also going to play another card here. They're going to actually spend 2. They're going to play their Cherry Grenade This is normally a 5 cost, but if the player controls a plant, this card's cost is reduced by 3 and it just destroys target character. So they're going to use it for 2 and destroy the Aromasaur. Now they have 3 left. They could kind of go for that. They're going to do it. They're going to spend 2 more on another Cherry Grenade and destroy the Florodactyl with it. Evasive does not help you against those action cards. It only helps prevent attacks. But now Mad Plants have a lane open here, and they're going to swing in with Mad Plant Megavine, deal 4 damage, sending the dinosaur player down to 20. So next up, they have enough. They have a pretty good amount. They can go in and play a big character of their own once again. They're going to spend all 8, the dinosaur player, for a Florosaurus Rex. 8 costs for an 8/7 dinosaur with the on-play ability of destroying a target relic. So if your opponent has a pesky relic on the board that you want to get rid of, this can help you get around it. It's pretty nice. So Florosaurus Rex is going to take a big bite out of the Mad Plant Megavine, take it out, and reduce the Mad Plant player by 6 life, sending them to 24. So now the Mad Plants are up to 10, which means, and they drew a pretty good card for the situation, so they're going to start off by spending 7 for a Mad Plant Queen Dahlia. This is the big boss of the Mad Plants. 1 attack, 5 defense for 7, but it has an auto ability where this character gets +X+0, where X is equal to the number of PowerPoint tokens you control. And right now the Mad Plants have 10, so that's going to be 11 attack, 5 defense. So I'll just quickly show, I'll just quickly do that just to illustrate. And obviously they're going to swing with the Mad Plant Queen, so that's 11 going on a 7 attack character, reducing life by 4, sending the dinosaurs down to 16. Dinosaurs aren't quite out of this yet. That's a pretty good hit. They're going to spend another 8, send another Florosaurus Rex in there. No relics to destroy once again, but they've got a pretty good attack. They're going to go ahead and right for the Mad Plant Queen, dealing 3. And sending the Mad Plants down to 21. Next turn. Do they have anything they can do? I think what the Mad Plants are gonna do, they're gonna spend 3 for a Cactoid, which has a once per turn ability where the player can choose one of the following. They can either deal 1 damage to target player, or destroy target character with defense 1 or less. Pretty familiar sounding ability, especially if you're familiar with what cards were recently released in the Community Appreciation Pack. Wink wink. And unfortunately, they don't have quite enough power to get over, but I think they can get there. Their Mad Plants are going to spend 3. They're going to get their Mad Plant Chopper onto the field, and they're going to spend their last 4 on one of their copies of We're in This Together. This is kind of an archetype neutral card, which is something you can run regardless of your archetype, and it simply says you choose a character, and characters of that type you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. They're going to choose plants, so all the plants for this turn have +2/+0. And so Mad Plants are going to swing with the Chomper at the Florosaurus Rex. No damage is dealt, but both characters get taken out, which is the best they're going to do. Dinosaurs draw once again. They got a pretty good card off the top. They're going to spend 6 on a Bramblesaur, which is a 5/5 dinosaur that reads whenever this character would be attacked, you put a -1/-1 counter on the attacking character. Quite a few characters with that ability. And then in addition, they're going to spend some more. They're going to spend 4 on Terria's Gift. This is a normal action with 3 different possibilities. You can choose one of them. You can either draw 2 cards, gain 4 life, or return a character from your discard pile to your hand. I think they're going to choose to draw 2 cards with this. And they got some pretty good cards there for next turn. But in the meantime, Bramblesaur is just going to swing in at the Cactoid and deal the Mad Plants 2 damage, sending them down to 19. Pretty close game so far. Drawing. Mad Plants don't have a ton of options in hand, so I think the best course of action for them is to spend 2. They're going to get their own Mad Plant out. They're also going to... Can't really use Spring Ahead. It's noteworthy, it only adds the cards from your resource deck to your row. So if you have no more resource cards left in your resource deck, this card doesn't really do much. So right now this doesn't do anything. So in the meantime, the Mad Plants are just going to spend 5 to play, gather the crew, choosing plant to draw 2 more cards. Try to get some more options there. They got a few good ones, but none they can really use this turn. And unfortunately, they can't really swing into the Bramblesaur right now, so it's back to the dinosaurs. So drawing a card. And now it's time for the dinosaurs to get their boss out. They're going to spend all 10 of their PowerPoint tokens on Dondarin, Lord of the Jungle. 12 attack, 6 defense, and an auto ability where whenever this character would be targeted by an attack, ability, or card effect, you may change the target to another dinosaur you control. Can be a pretty powerful ability. I've used this in an earlier test game and it kind of was a little overwhelming, so I am planning to change this to an active ability you have to activate to be able to use, but for now it's auto. So that's all the dinosaur player could play, so they're just going to swing in, and Dondarin's going to swing at the Mad Plant here. 12 attack on a 2 defense is going to deal 10 damage to the Mad Plant player, sending them down to 9 life. Pretty big swing. And dinosaurs have the life lead at this point. But Mad Plants drew a pretty good card off the top, so... And they're going to take advantage. They're going to spend 7 again on a Mad Plant Queen Dahlia. Still only have 10 PowerPoint tokens, so they're going to bring it up to 11 attack. But now the Mad Plant player is going to try to swing into Dondarin, who's going to actually take advantage of his ability and change the target of the attack to the Bramblesaur. So Mad Plant's going to end up attacking the Bramblesaur, and you're going to see how this ability really helps out the dinosaurs. So while the dinosaur player is going to lose 6 life, sending them down to 10, Bramblesaur's ability goes off to put a -1/-1 counter on the attacking character. And that sends Mad Plant Queen Dahlia down to a 10 attack, 4 defense. So pretty good use of the ability there by the dinosaur player. And the life totals are pretty close. So they draw. Got a lot of cards. I think what the dinosaur player is going to do, they're going to start by spending 4 on Zachary's Expedition. This is a card that allows the player to look at the top 2 cards of their deck, add 1 to the hand, and the other goes to the resource row face down and spent. So they got a pretty good card off the top. They're going to take the Sporosaurus, put it into their hand. This other Vanessa Beast Tamer going into the resource row. And they have enough resources to play that new card, so the dinosaur player is going to spend 4 more. Put Sporosaurus down. And they're also going to spend... what do they want to do here? I think what they're going to do... They're going to spend to put young Aromasaur down as well. So now Dondoran's back and is ready to swing. So he's going to deal 12 damage to Mad Plant Queen Dahlia, which is going to reduce the Mad Plant player down to 1 life. So Mad Plants are on the ropes. They were ahead for a while until Dondoran showed up. So let's see if they can mount some sort of comeback here. They're going to try to keep themselves in. They're going to spend 4 on a Terria's Gift. And what kind of mode do they use here? I think what they're going to do is try to gain some survivability. Go back to 4 life. So now they're at 5 at least. They're not quite in immediate danger. And the other thing they're going to do is they're going to spend 2 on a regular Mad Plant. And then they're going to go to attacks. They're going to send the Spore Shroom Mad Plant at the young Aromasaur to deal 1 damage to the dinosaur player. Because remember, Dondoran's ability only comes to effect whenever he himself would be targeted. But since they targeted the young Aromasaur, his ability doesn't kick in. So now it is back to the dinosaur player. They're going to try to land the finishing blow here, if they can. First things first, though, they're going to try to draw some more cards to see if, since the Mad Plants have some power open, they're going to spend 4 Terria's Gift, draw some cards. Not bad options, but I think what they're going to do now... They don't really have much they can play, but they are going to spend their 6 on a Bramblesaur. That's a pretty big hit for them. So now the dinosaur player has 2 characters that can put -1/-1 counters on attackers. So yeah, both of these decks kind of have similar game plans, but Mad Plants are kind of faster going off, but dinosaurs really finish huge, as you can see. So Dondoran's going to attempt to swing into the Mad Plant for game here, but in an act of self-preservation, the Mad Plants are going to play Psychic Repulsion, which is a counter action where they can choose to either negate an action card or return an attacking character to its owner's hand. So they're going to choose to return that attacking character to its owner's hand, which will stop the attack. And it is back to the Mad Plants. See if they can do anything. Don't have much in their hands, so the main course of action they're going to do is they're going to get another Terria's Gift down, draw some more cards. Okay options, but I think what they're going to do, they're going to... Writing's kind of on the wall for the Mad Plants, so they're just going to swing with whatever they got. They're going to spend 4 on a We're in This Together to buff the team by +2/+0. Spore Shroom's going to swing into the Sporosaurus, taking it out, dealing 2 damage. Meanwhile, they're going to get a -1/-1 counter, put it on that Spore Shroom Mad Plant. And now, dinosaurs are getting ready to close this out. They're going to spend their 10, get Dondarin back out, and then just swing with him at the Spore Shroom Mad Plant, sending them down to 0 for the game. And that's... Now you kind of saw how the dinosaurs ended up playing. Thank you very much for watching this little playtest. I will have a few announcements. I do have some things I want to share before I go, and that's going to involve the schedule of things going up that I have going up for set 2. So as you can see, I've got some things going up. Right now we're in June through July, and this is where I'm finishing the alpha testing of various things in the set, as well as working on the various artworks for the cards. I've already got quite a few artworks done. So, as you can see, this is one of the first pages of artwork I've got. You can even see some of the cards I've used in today's game, like the main Mad Plant here, as well as some of the dinosaur characters, like the Aromasaurus and the Florosaurus Rex. There's also art for Gather the Crew on here, so it's pretty cool pieces all around. Also have a little more line art to show you. I've also got the twin Mad Plant there. A couple of other characters, but you can see I've definitely been working. Also have another special card coming in the set. I've got Magnet Man from Palmia J. He's going to be in set 2 as one of the 3 special cards, and that's part of the reason why I'm only going to have 2 winners in my new art contest that I have going on right now. And Palmia's actually got a playtest event coming up for his own card game this weekend. I'll have a link to his server in the description if you want to join and check that out. And getting back to what I have going on, that's June and July. My goal is to finish all my alpha testing and all my arts and upload set 2 to Untap. To send into August, which is where I'm going to have the public playtest for the beta, which is where I'm going to be collecting feedback from you guys as you guys try out the cards for the first time. I'm also going to finalize all the card abilities as well. And that will lead right into September, where I'm going to finalize everything else. I'm going to get the packaging done for the booster pack and starter decks, make the store pages for all of them, order the proofs on the different products, and possibly host a pre-release draft. I might make this into a set 2 cube and host a draft in September just to kind of build up a little hype and give other people a chance to play with the finalized set 2 cards. And then sometime in mid-October, I'm going to be releasing set 2. And if I end up needing a little more time to polish things out, early November is the latest I'm willing to extend out that release slot. So I'm aiming for mid-October to release set 2, so that's the timeline for things that I wanted to share with you guys. If you enjoyed this little playtest, be sure to leave a like and comment below what you thought of how the archetypes played, if you enjoyed them. And if you have any suggestions, you can leave a comment as well to let me know. I'll see you in my next video, and take care.